Good afternoon, everyone. We want to thank you for coming out to the Harrisburg School District today for a very important announcement from our acting superintendent, Mr. Chris Selmer. At this time, I'd like to welcome him to the podium.
Good afternoon. While it is a sunny day in Harrisburg, today is anything but a normal day given the continued uncertainty around the COVID-19 pandemic. In such a time, it is critical that organizations come together to support those in the community that need them the most. I'm honored and humbled to have Police Commissioner Thomas Carter, Community Policing and Local Community Advocate, Mr. Blake Lynch, along with the Executive Director of the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, Mr. Joe Arthur, joining us today as we announce together the following programs to support concerns around community food insecurity. Before I begin, I want to commend our internal school district incident command team, which I put in place as of Saturday, March 14. I would like to extend sincere thanks to our essential personnel who are coming to work to support the operations of the Harrisburg School District. Southwest Food Service Excellence Management and food service workers, including AFSCME and Aramark facilities and custodial workers, in addition to our security team who will monitor our buildings during the closure. I would also like to thank our Act 93 administrative staff, court-appointed receiver Dr. Janet Samuels, the Harrisburg School District School Board of Directors, the Harrisburg School District Foundation, the Harrisburg Foundation for Enhancing Communities, and UPMC Pinnacle for their support. Thank you. I'm pleased to announce that during the state-mandated closure of schools due to COVID-19, the Harrisburg School District is prepared to provide free grab-and-go breakfast and lunch meals to any actively enrolled student in the Harrisburg School District. The district's feeding efforts will be supported through its collaboration with the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the National School Lunch Program. Beginning tomorrow, Tuesday, March 17th, while schools are not in session, the administration will invite parents and guardians to pick up meals for their children between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. To minimize and aid in crowd control, we are asking the following. Pre-K through 4th grade students and families to arrive at 10 a.m., 5th through 8th grade to arrive at 10:30 a.m., and 9th through 12th grade to arrive at 11 a.m. If a family has multiple children, please pick one of the listed time slots to pick up meals for your children. Meal pickup will be available Tuesday, March 17th through Friday, March 20th at 6 designated school locations across the city of Harrisburg. The plan for the week of March 23rd is still being developed. The district locations are Foose School, Roland Academy, John Harris Campus, the Downey School, Ben Franklin School, and Camp Curtin Academy. For meal reimbursement purposes, students must be present to pick up meals. Parents and guardians are encouraged to accompany their children for meal pickups. All breakfast and lunch meals are provided at no cost to students of the Harrisburg School District. The administration of the Harrisburg School District encourages families to continue to be proactive in reducing the risk of COVID-19 by not congregating at school pickup sites once meals have been distributed. You need to grab and go. In an effort for our families and communities to stay healthy and well, we advise students, families, and staff to practice good hygiene habits by washing your hands often with antibacterial soap. Refrain from touching eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Be mindful of social distancing and stay home if they and or their child have cold or flu-like symptoms and contact their primary care physician. For the latest COVID-19 updates, information, and resources, we encourage families to visit the websites of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and or the PA Department of Health. If the Center of Disease Control Prevention and the Department of Health, United States Department of Education, Governor's Office, and or the Pennsylvania Department of Education provide new guidance regarding the feeding program, it could modify and or change the operations for food distribution. Any such changes will be communicated via our district website at www.hbgsd.us. Thank you for your assistance as we come together as one to support the families of the Harrisburg School District during this difficult time. I'm pleased to ask Mr. Joe Arthur to come to the podium to make some comments around another initiative that we're partnering together on to service our community. Mr. Arthur, thank you. We'll do the elbow.
We will.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, everybody. So it's really my pleasure to stand here at this serious time in front of this House of Excellence here, the Cougar Academy, which unfortunately can't operate as it normally does. But I'm proud, and our food bank family is proud to be part of this collaboration. Over to my side on the table, in addition to the students being fed, as Chris described, we have families in need throughout Harrisburg. Whose children are in the school district. So with the manpower and arrangements that you've just heard about, which is very robust, by the way, in real time, this is coming together incredibly fast. And we serve a very large territory, and this is the most robust response that is starting right now. Our part of this is to make sure that those families in this time of need, as the COVID-19 situation continues to evolve, and the governor even today of Pennsylvania is putting additional guidance out about essential services. We are an essential service at the food bank. So we are going to provide beautiful food. On the table here you can see fresh and frozen food that's going to accompany a box of great shelf-stable foods, so that family has plenty of food as we move forward. And folks are going to be struggling. We know this is going to impact our local economy. We know folks are already struggling in some cases, and that's actually going to get worse. That's our estimation of that, and we are prepared. Central Pennsylvania Food Bank has a lot of food from the USDA and our grocery friends and other providers, and we are leaning into this very robustly, and we're going to continue to do that. I do want to say to the public, we still need help. The best forms of help are if you are healthy. You can volunteer. I'm wearing these gloves for a reason. Before I came here, I myself was packing boxes with our volunteers. We have limited volunteer size, super clean facility, continual cleaning of our hands and making sure that we're practicing social distancing. All of the things that the CDC is recommending, we are doing, and you can volunteer safely. We also have a waiver we're asking people to sign so that they can, if they are exhibiting any symptoms or have been in contact or have been around a high-risk individuals, whatever that might be, to defer and go home. So our staff is safe and our volunteers are safe, and anybody that visits the food bank are safe. We are going to, we have some temporary procedures. If folks don't need to actually move food, then they can work from home, those types of things. So lots of changes, but all designed for safety, but also a robust response so we can feed families with the food that you see right there. So thank you. I appreciate the partnership, and we'll be available for questions after the press conference.
I would like to ask Mr. Lynch or Commissioner Carter if you'd like to make any comments regarding the program. Okay, Mr. Lynch.
Thank you. It is truly a great pleasure on behalf of Commissioner Carter and Mayor Eric Pappenfuss to partner with the Harrisburg School District at this time to provide some leadership and guidance to assist and collaborate with the school district. We understand right now this is a tough time, and so the police department wants to assist any way possible in continuing with our community policing partnership that we have. So what we're doing is collaborating with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank as well as dozens of community partners in and around the city to help with distribution during this time. So there will be assigned dates that we will be assisting to help with supplemental foods that the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank will be providing. So when those students receive breakfast and lunch at those 6 locations that were mentioned, the Harrisburg Police Department, in collaboration with community partners and nonprofits, will also be there on designated days of Wednesday and Friday to then give out some of these foods as well that will then serve those families during that time. Also, in addition to that, the Harrisburg Police Department is spearheading with community groups as well as the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank to provide an evening receiving time as well at those 6 locations on Wednesday and Friday. If anything changes, of course, that'll be at the direction of the school district and as well as with the governor, depending on how this pandemic pans out. However, we are fully prepared to assist with police collaboration again to show positive community partnerships and our dedication to our students and families who need us the most. So at this time, I'll bring up Commissioner Carter if he has any words.
Thank you. A lot of great people are doing a lot of great things for our kids here. The goal of the Harrisburg School District and the food bank is that no kid go hungry. We don't know how long this pandemic is going to last, but we're going to do everything that we can do to make things possible that the students of Harrisburg High School eat well. What I would ask is that when it starts tomorrow, that people act orderly, they cooperate so things can run smoothly. Harrisburg has great citizens here, and we're doing everything that we can do to serve our citizens here. And before we start tomorrow, I just want to thank everybody for cooperating, everybody for doing their part. Please wash your hands, just be safe, and this pandemic will pass by shortly. On behalf of City Council President Wanda Williams, Public Safety Chair Asha Green, City Council, and Mayor Pappenfuss, I want to thank you all. Thank you.
At this point, we would be happy to take any questions you may have.
Some districts around the area are doing similar programs, and I've noticed that they're asking families to sort of sign up either online or register in some way. Is yours more of a first come, first serve, or do you have any kind of sign up?
At this point, we made the decision due to how rapidly the situation has been unfolding to do 6 sites, and we believe 6 sites gives us enough capacity that if we do have 1,000 show up at each site, we can handle that based on our current operational planning. So we made the decision to stagger times in order to accompany the crowds that may come, but we are confident in the 6 locations and how they're dispersed throughout the community that we can handle any volume that may come at us.
So no advance registration?
Not at this point, no.
You mentioned that parents could come pick up the food. If parents can't get the food, is there any way students can get it themselves?
Yes, actually, I'd like to clarify, students must be present for the breakfast and lunch meal to be distributed. Based on PDE guidelines for the school district being reimbursed for the distribution of that meal, we actually have to take at least a student count of those students when they arrive. So students could come without a parent. Again, we're encouraging parents and guardians to accompany them, but we cannot have parents just show up without their children, because then we could not seek reimbursement for that meal. So I just want to stress that we need the students to be available so we can distribute the grab and go and keep things moving. Thank you.
And this is available for the whole student body, not just free and reduced price lunch.
The school district of Harrisburg is considered a community eligibility provision district, so all our students are deemed eligible for free and reduced breakfast and lunch. It's free. It is free.
And again, I just want to ask, because I've seen what some other districts are doing. Some have said any kid, I mean, they're literally saying like 0 to 18, we'll give you a lunch bag for a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old that might not be in the district yet. Am I hearing you say students only, school-age kids only?
Actually, it's pre-K through 4 is our first feeding at 10 o'clock. So that would include any Head Start, pre-K counts children. And certainly as a community, we are not going to let any student walk away without a meal. I can assure you of that. But again, we want it to be as organized and as orderly as possible, and we do want to ensure that we are following all the rules of the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the free and reduced lunch program.
So your Head Start and pre-K counts, that would capture maybe like 3 and 4-year-olds too?
That is correct, yes.
Mr. Selman, did all this kind of come together quickly?
We actually started having dialogue internally early last week. regarding what a program would look like. Certainly the details have evolved over the weekend through today. We really started to engage in serious dialogue with our partners over the weekend, who I just want to thank again, who reached out to us multiple times, Saturday, Sunday. What can we do to support the school district? And so certainly I am greatly appreciative to these gentlemen and their organizations, because they said whatever we needed to do, they would support it.
Sometimes a partnership sounds a bit hokey, but this is legit.
Oh, this is a true partnership. This is what community is all about.
Any further questions?
I will. That grab and go. Is it a breakfast and a lunch?
Correct. It's both. So, and we strategically picked the 10 a.m. start time. So we will issue each student a bag that has a lunch, a bag that has a breakfast. And again, why we have not announced a schedule for the following week is there are some school districts that are trying to combine days to have less feeding cycles per week. So for the following week, depending on how this continues to evolve, we could look at maybe a reduced schedule the following week. But for this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, unless something changes from the governor's office, etc., and it would be a breakfast and lunch.
I'm just for the good of the order, where's the food come from? I mean, you guys are in business, so you probably have a lot of food stores in your cafeterias now. So I imagine you're pulling some from what you have in inventory, right?
Yeah, we are, but we also, we have ordering cycles that we adhere to, and we did not change those ordering cycles even through the end of last week. So Southwest Food Excellence, along with our food service supervisor, handle all our ordering of our food items for the school district. Okay. Thank you very much for coming today, and I appreciate you all spreading the word to the community. We're hoping for a great turnout tomorrow for the benefit of our students. So thank you again.